What's going on, everybody? James and Pee Wee here, and I just wanted to give a little context to this video. On my other channel, it has to do with the business. I just went into talking off the top of my head, and it included a dream I had and kind of where I am going with my thought process and what have you, and thought it would be a nice crossover video for this channel. So I edited the business stuff out at the end and just decided to upload the front heavy video over here also. So let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, and all that jive, and I won't see you. Let's go. I'll see you on the other side of this fade. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? And thank you for clicking on my video. Thank you for choosing me. But I had a dream last night. So I've been going in this certain direction ever since, I guess, my last trip to the doctor. I've been going on this journey, if you will. A journey to normality. So like all my life, I've always loved the little things in life because, grew up without. So any little thing, if I found a crushed Hot Wheel while I was walking to school, I still remember that to this day. And how excited I was, even though the top was crushed in on this Hot Wheel. But I got a new Hot Wheel to go with my other Hot Wheels. So I've always been big on the little things. And then, I've always had that in me, but I think over time, life can take so many things from you if you allow it to. And I think I allowed it, life to take a lot of things from me over the years. And, that's just the way life is, right? It's how you react to things, how you change to things, it's all on you. And I've had this dream last night where I was in this huge crowd of people, and there was I don't even know what it was, some kind of a speaker was a high profile, very successful person. And I just strolled in feeling normal. And instead of getting into the crowd, since I don't like crowds, I sat off to the right side, just kind of on my own. Nobody really around me, just sat there and started listening. And the next thing I know, this person who was on stage comes over to me and says, "I choose you." And I remember feeling, first off, I was a little skeptical. It's like, what's this about? I can't trust you type of feel. But then I let my surroundings sink in. All these thousands of people here, and you walked over to me and said, "I pick you. You have potential. I can teach you a lot of stuff. And I'm just like, well, what? But then after getting over the skeptical part, I let that sink in. And it gave me this overwhelming feeling I haven't felt in a long time. Like, or ever, actually. I don't know. I guess I don't like, I don't know. Most of my life was spent, based on my decisions. And the fact that somebody chose me made me feel a little special, I guess. I don't know if special is the right word. It made me feel seen. Maybe seen is a better word. It made me feel seen. And then as I am going through this in the dream, I wake up and I'm just started processing it, and I'm like, how do I become that person who they chose? And then I was telling, consciously, while I'm awake, I'm like, that person's there. You just have gotten away from being that person. And that entails all the positive traits that you've kind of suppressed or hidden or have vanished because of circumstances, or, well, not because of circumstances, but because I let circumstances, suppress them. So as I was walking around today, like, I've been just kind of just doing this chill vibe, just trying to reset my mind to think differently, because like I said, everything just kind of seems old to me now. And then I realize I'm looking at things from a tainted perspective instead of looking at things from an innocent perspective. So how do I get that innocent perspective back? Loving the little things. And for me, I think it's just rewinding time in my head. They always say you never look back, but I've always been a big believer that you have to look back in order to remember, what you've learned, so you don't repeat yourself. Just like history in real life, you don't want to repeat history. So you got to always keep it fresh in the minds. And I think the same thing should play true with people, with your past. So I started, just as I'm shipping this morning, started thinking of just past little things that made me feel thankful. Finding that Hot Wheel, and just and then another Hot Wheel memory came back where, my mom didn't have money for Easter baskets, so she got a cardboard box, pulled real grass, put some candy in it, and then put a Hot Wheel in it. I still have that Hot Wheel to this day. And then just started thinking about other things that were small that impacted me. And told myself that is you. That energy is you. That's in you. Feed off of it. Find it again, and whatever. And the more I've been thinking about it throughout the day, just the more at peace it's making me feel. And again, I keep going back to that dream, where the feeling I had in that dream, where somebody chose me over these thousands of people. And then I'm like, well, that's kind of like you guys right now, whoever's watching this video, even if it's only 5 people, that those 5 people chose this moment to click this video. I should be thankful for that. Why have I just kind of dismissed everything in my life? What was the problem that got me to move so fast through life and just kind of forget the small things or overlook achievements or whatever the case may be? And of course, some of it I think I can attribute to I'm just going to straight out call it bipolar thing, because that's what it really seems like. My mind's always been like ups and downs in the same, an hour later I'm one way, another hour I'm another, way. And I think just having a kind of a stable mind has helped. So what's the next step? Each day that goes on, I feel more and more happy that I can think straight throughout the day. So what is that next step to bring those, what's the word I'm looking for? To bring those positive traits out again, bring them back to the forefront again. And then, if that's the case, then what can I do per se? YouTube videos, right? And so I started thinking, I'm like, it almost feels like my mind's going through a reset. Like I feel like a new person. Just so much has changed when it comes to just my day, from not just an emotional standpoint, but also a focus standpoint, a driven standpoint. So how do we add more of the positives to that? And then that dream kind of kicked off this next wave of just going back and realizing that, I had a frozen Coke today. When I was a kid, I wanted frozen Coke, but I couldn't get a Slurpee from 7-Eleven. And then, finally after, I mowed some lawns and took out the neighbor's trash, and then, I got enough to walk up to 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee. And so it was a work just to get something that now I can get at any time, but yet I don't look at it as something special anymore because it's so common. At least that's the way my head worked, because I think my head was just in other directions, right? Another focus, focused on other things. And now that I don't have to focus on so much, being I can get a full, stable day out of my life, I can start looking at these things again as I used to, and look at them as gifts as opposed to just a common thing. So I'm like, well, what do I do, like, from a YouTube standpoint? Thoughts come into my mind, just to not worry about it, just let it fade away. I only make $250 to $300 a month on it. It's not like it's anything major on the money front, I feel like I've said everything I've had to say to everybody who's watching. And then I just kind of take inspiration from the new channel and go, what if I just did a full reset on this channel and kind of view it as everybody who's watching is brand new to the channel. Somebody made a comment yesterday about how, asking questions on things that I may have answered would be better than them going back through all my videos. So I'm not accounting for new viewers, if you will. I'm more concerned about not by saying the same thing over again that somebody who's viewed my stuff over time is hearing for the 7th time. Maybe I just need to not worry about that and kind of reset the channel and every day address it as if everybody who's watching's brand new. And opening it up like that could also lead to saying things differently, maybe talking about how things have changed, or it might open the gap a lot bigger if I don't think like that. And also be thankful for anyone who took their time just to click on this video. And I think I kind of did that before, but then looking at it as I didn't want to repeat myself and annoy those people, if you will, to annoy whoever's still here at 16 minutes in, because if you're 16 minutes into this video, chances are you watch, a little bit more of my content than normal people. By normal people, I mean the vast majority of people. But what if I just hit a reset and just talk like every day? I talk like everything's new, everything's fresh, everything matters, every little detail I care about. Because without those little details, you wouldn't have the big picture. And it took a lot for me to get from where I started to where I am. Yet I was just kind of just throwing all that away by not realizing, maybe even not caring, or not consciously caring. My head's pounding today. I gotta go get some sinus meds in me. Like when I've been was watching content, I think personally I was drawn more to the innocence of conversation as opposed to an ego-driven conversation, or not even necessarily ego-driven, but caught up in the rat race that I've been in this whole time. You don't have to be in the rat race to come out a winner. So when I start seeing those videos, and I think that's why I've always been drawn to more of the new creators, because, and maybe that's why I like new album, the first album from bands the best, because it's the raw, the beginnings of the unproduced, the untainted. And I think that's just a quality in me that, I don't know if it's a quality, but a perspective in me that when I watch anything, I love the raw, the beginnings, the untainted stuff, the innocence stuff first. Maybe that's why I love the innocence of animals and children, and think that should keep them innocent as long as you can. So why not feel that again and look at everything around you in that perspective that you let slide right by? Don't be on your deathbed thinking, I wish I would have enjoyed the fact that I have an unlimited blues hat collection, a huge blues jersey collection, a nice, shoe collection, which when I made shoe videos mattered to me, but today not so much. Why not? What's changed? So look at them through that lens again. Find that lens that not just you matter, but or you're chosen, but everything around me is chosen. So treat it as such. Treat it with the respect that it deserves. And that includes everything from my, I don't want to compare you to a dirty shoe I wore 10 times, but it would be the same as you watching this channel to one of the shoes I love. It's all a choice, one direction or another, and I should be thankful for that choice, no matter which direction whether it's coming or receiving. And normally before, when it comes to receiving, I've always felt uncomfortable. Well, don't, because then you're devaluing that person's choice. No need to devalue a person's choice if they choose you. And I know I've done that in the past, in my 20s and stuff. I know for a fact I've done things like that. Because I felt uncomfortable, I devalued their decision. Like, I don't deserve that. Why? It was more about how I felt than the person and their reasoning for making that choice. And that should never be as such. So it's time to get out of the rat race for me. Slowing my mind down and realizing again that every little thing matters.